Hello everyone, and welcome to my Gossip for USA official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Zach Roloff, star of Little People, Big World, dispelled a significant rumor that he and his spouse Tori Roloff are keeping his parents, Matt and Amy Roloff, from seeing their grandchildren. After the Roloff family's reality show was taken off the air for more than a year, Little People, Big World's 25th season finale seemed like a farewell. Zach and Tori declared back in February that they would be departing lpbw when the last season of filming was over. There are rumors that Little People, Big World may not survive. Zach and Tori are no longer on Little People, Big World, but they are still openly discussing their reality TV success on their podcast, Raising Heights. Zach responded to reports that he and Tori decided to keep their children away from Matt and Amy in the most recent podcast episode. He stated plainly, "There's none of that going on. All they're doing is attempting to provide the finest upbringing for their children." Zach claims that even though he and Matt may have a toxic relationship, Matt still sees his grandchildren. The relationship between Matt and Zach is still quite tense, despite Zach's insistence that he isn't interfering in his father's relationship with his grandchildren. Matt admitted as much on his podcast, stating, "It's not great. I guess it doesn't exist. You kind of give yourself some room now that the filming is over." A few months later, when Little People, Big World Season 25 premiered, it addressed some old wounds. He and Matt still have problems with one another that need to be fixed. Zach then asserted that the conflict is the result of narcissism, and that he didn't do anything wrong. In contrast to his previous statement, Zach acknowledged on the podcast that there had been occasions when he could have done better, but he didn't seem to want to accept accountability for whatever role he may have played in weakening his relationship with Matt. "Why would we re-engage with other Roloff family members when nothing has changed? Everyone has a toxic relationship in their life," he stated. Zach claimed that while he needed to get away from the negativity, the situation was made worse by social media critics. Matt, on the other hand, recently stated that he's glad Zach and Tori decided to quit Little People, Big World since the reality show is really stressful, especially when they're attempting to raise their children in front of the camera. Zach's father thinks that their rivalry will end in time. Zach Roloff will discuss his tense relationship with Matt Roloff in the Little People, Big World Season 25 finale. The father and son have allegedly been at odds for years due to differences around the Oregon property known as Roloff Farm. Eventually, Zach, his wife Tori, and their children relocated to Battleground, Washington, and settled down. Season 25 of Little People, Big World has demonstrated the persistence of their rivalry, especially in the most recent episode when Matt took issue with Zach and Tori scheduling conflicts on the day of Amy Roloff's fundraiser. In a sneak peek of the Little People, Big World Season 25 finale, which ET released, Zach reflected on his conflict with his father, Matt. Zach opens the ad with a voiceover discussing his upbringing on a farm while images of Zach in his formative years appear on screen. Zach hopes that his kids will be able to enjoy as much time outdoors as he did. He regrets that due to that persistent family conflict, their experience would not be the same as his. At this point, Zach stops speaking in generalities and begins to describe his dad in greater detail. In the Roloff family, he acknowledges, no one's holding grudges against one another, and no one's intentionally not going to the farm. The truth of the matter is that he believes his children have no interest in going to Roloff Farm. It appears that his kids don't want visits, and neither he nor Tori are attempting to keep anything from them. Zach takes a step farther and acknowledges that that ship has sailed in terms of their previous father-son bond. "There's not much of a relationship, just doing our own thing," he says. Zach is hoping for some kind of reconciliation with Matt, but he doesn't think it will happen anytime soon. Reaching a consensus with his father will probably take some time, but the glimmer of hope in his remarks doesn't mean the door is closed. "Everything is going to be fixed. It will simply be different," he says in closing. Considering that Zach has occasionally been emphatic about not wanting to comment, it's interesting to hear him speak so candidly about the difficult connection he has with his father. For instance, when Matt and Karen Chandler became engaged in a previous episode of Little People, Big World Season 25, Matt joyfully told Amy's husband, Chris Merrick, the exciting news. Zach, however, became quite uncomfortable and stated he didn't want to talk about the engagement when he was asked to share his opinions on it during a confessional. Since Zach and Tori have already declared their intention to leave Little People, Big World at the conclusion of the current season, any on-air narratives including the couple will need to be narrated by other family members. It would be a significant development that would probably be discussed on Little People if Matt and Zach decide to get back together. On Little People, Big World, Matt Roloff is content with his life with Karen Chandler following his divorce, but it appears that he is shoving his happiness in Amy Roloff's face. The way Matt treats Amy is only one of many indications that his ego is out of control. Matt was a major contributing factor in the strife inside the Roloff family. Their relationship has been severely damaged by his divorce from Amy and the arguments he had with his son Zach about the family farm that followed. Zach was deeply offended by Matt's choice to sell a portion of Roloff Farms without first discussing his kids, and tensions with Amy also increased. She sold her share of the farm so her children could purchase it for less money, but she was taken aback when the farm's sale went entirely differently than she had imagined. Zach was displeased by Matt's exorbitant price, which was one of the reasons he and his spouse, Tori Roloff, formally quit the program following season 25 of Little People, Big World. The end of the show might be approaching, and Matt doesn't seem to be treating Amy well in front of the possible final season. Matt shared a picture of himself and his fiancée, Karen Chandler, smiling outside of a concert in May 2024. The patriarch of the Roloff family captioned the picture, which showed Matt and Karen smiling, saying, "Hanging out with Karen's parents and friends at a concert in the desert. Living our best life, having fun." Matt felt as though he had to convince Amy and his family that he would be better off without them. The cast member of Little People, Big World rubbed his new life in his family's faces, not caring that they were upset with him. Aside from the pleasant photo with Karen, Matt's actions towards Amy were continually cruel. Amy said that while they were still married, Matt had an affair with Karen. If accurate, this charge is a serious breach of confidence. Matt also shows a lack of concern for Amy's feelings and interests in his decision-making over the family farm, especially when it comes to selling off a portion of it without first talking to Amy or their kids. Matt was at fault, and this move only served to widen their divide. Matt refused to allow the criticism get to him. On Instagram, he hinted at the top 5 questions people had for him, but on his Facebook page, he provided more information on his responses. Matt has remained transparent after his NDA expired, even though he ended up being the antagonist in Little People, Big World. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.